If you implement these 10 strategies, 10 things they did not teach you in dental school, you can easily double or triple your income. I just wish I figured these things out sooner. So let's get into it. Strategy number 1, always negotiate your salary. If you're gonna be working as an employee, the incentive for the employer is always to pay you as little as possible. The first offer that they give you when they try to hire you is going to be lower than what they're willing to pay. They might act like, oh, our rates are fixed for everyone. It's not true. There's always negotiating power. Generally with dental associate jobs, there's 2 aspects to your pay. Number 1, you're gonna be paid a percentage of your production. Generally, this is a number between 30 and 40%. Obviously, your goal is to get that as close to 40% as you can. Sometimes it'll be set up like a ladder, where if you're producing under, say, 2,000 a day, you get this percentage, 2 to 5, you get this percentage, 5 above, you get a higher percentage. But you can always find ways to negotiate that percentage higher. It's important to keep in mind that oftentimes this percentage doesn't include work done by the hygienist. Some offices even have assistants that are doing things like sealants, etc., and that doesn't even go in your production. One thing to look at is radiographs, because sometimes radiographs are included and sometimes they're not. You need to look at all the fine print and see what things are included, what things aren't. You want to get as many things included as possible, and you want to have your percentages as high as possible. A few offices like Aspen will pay you on a percentage of the total office production. Now this percentage is going to be lower, but you can still try to negotiate that higher. Now the second part of your pay that you want to negotiate is your daily minimum. This is the amount you get paid each day regardless of how much you produce. And we're going to be going over some strategies to make sure that you're going over that minimum. But sometimes there's days that you just don't have enough patients on the schedule to meet that minimum. And when you're an employee, sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. If you're at an office that has another dentist, oftentimes that other dentist is going to be trying to take a lot of the higher budget procedures. So that's another reason that you want to make sure you have a daily minimum set up. This minimum can range in different parts of the country, but you should be looking at starting at least like $1,000. If you can, try to get $1,200 or more. And if for some reason you can't negotiate the actual pay higher, try to find other things in your contract that you can negotiate. Always negotiate. Go back and forth 3, 4, 5 times. Don't take the first offer given to you. You are a dentist and you're in extremely high demand, which means there is not much competition for other associate dentists. Most hardworking dentists become practice owners, so the pool of available candidates for associate jobs is actually pretty low. So you have bargaining power. Strategy number 2, treatment plan everything you see on each patient. Do not be afraid to treatment plan. You are going to have patients that walk in with a cavity on every tooth that they have. Don't be afraid to treatment plan that. It is your obligation to treatment plan everything you see. This is for the patient's benefit, and this is for your benefit. Strategy number 3, case acceptance. Make sure your patients are doing the treatment that you treatment plan. If you're treatment planning things for patients and they're not doing it, well then what was the point of you doing that treatment plan? You need to find ways to make sure that your patients follow through with their treatment. The number 1 thing you can do to increase your case acceptance is speak to the patient as if you truly believe that they need that work to be done. Make sure that patient knows that it's extremely important that they do this work or they will lose their teeth. Strategy number 4, consolidate treatment. Whenever you have a patient that has multiple things on their treatment plan, make sure you are doing as many of those things as you can at the same appointment. Every time the patient comes to an appointment, they're filling up a spot on your schedule. Every time you have a new patient, you have to give more anesthesia. You have to waste time with the assistant coming back and asking questions. Try to get as much done as you can at a single appointment so that you can free up your space for more patients later. Strategy 5, don't do large fillings. Try your hardest to not have to do 3 surface, 4 surface, 5 surface fillings. Sometimes in children and young adults, you might have to do the occasional MOD. But if someone has decay or a crack that's gotten that big, that tooth needs a crown. Crowns are a much better option for patients, and they're much better paying for you. Number 6, extractions are your friend. Don't be afraid of doing extractions. Extractions, especially when done on denture patients, can be extremely profitable. Once you get good at doing extractions, you can do them extremely fast. there's no lab fee, and you're keeping all of that profit rather than referring it out. Now make sure you're labeling your extractions properly. If the tooth is perio involved in flapping in the breeze, it's a simple extraction. But for most extractions, you should be billing out as surgical extractions. In addition, if this is a patient that you think is going to eventually want an implant or a denture, which should be everyone you're doing extractions on, then you need to be offering bone grafts. Bone grafts are extremely simple to do, and they can double, triple, or even quadruple the income you're receiving from an extraction. So make sure you're mastering extractions early on. Strategy number 7, endo is not necessarily as important. Sure, endo on anterior teeth, especially when you're doing a full set of crowns, that's worth it. But don't ever do endo unless you're also doing the buildup in the crown along with it. Ideally, a multiple crown case. Don't feel bad referring endo cases out. You could fill your schedule with something that's more productive. Also, a lot of cases that dentists used to do endo on now would be better treatment planned as an extraction, bone graft, implant crown. It's better for the patient and it's better for you. Number 8, same day treatment. If you have a patient in the chair and you have time, try to finish everything that you can from their treatment plan. Patients love it. You are increasing your production for the day, and you are freeing up space on your schedule later so that you can have more production on those days. The moment you treatment plan something, if you can find space, see if you can do it right then. Or if you have a patient that's there for a crown and you see another tooth that needs a crown, try to do both of them that same day. Same day treatment. Number 9, feel free to say no to patients. Some patients are just a pain. They're going to continually ask you for things. Not every patient is worth the stress. Everyone has teeth. There are so many possible patients out there. Don't waste your time on the ones that drain your energy. Finally, strategy number 10, own your own practice. This is hands down the most important item on this list. You are a dentist. You made it through dental school. Why would you want to waste time building up someone else's business? Why would you want to work for someone else when the freedom and finances that come with owning a practice can be yours? Now, don't do a startup, but find a fully functional practice, buy it, and start making money from day one. If you buy a practice, you can make good money your first year of ownership. If you buy the right practice, you can make really good money your first year of practice ownership. Now, if you've never bought a business before, don't be afraid to get help. The seller is probably going to be hiring a practice broker that's working for them. They're going to be paying this practice broker something like $50,000 to $100,000 to help them make this sale. Make sure that you also have someone on your side who has done this before. Don't show up to a gunfight with a Nerf gun. As a practice owner, you can easily double or triple your income. It is not uncommon for practice owners their first year of ownership to be making $400,000, $500,000, $600,000. And not only are you earning more in that year, you're building equity in a business that you're later going to be able to sell at a profit. So these are the 10 things I wish I knew starting out as a dentist. You made it through dental school. Being a dentist is actually really easy once you figure it out. Thanks for watching. Check out the rest of the videos on the channel. If you have any cool stories about when you first started working, post them down below, and make sure to reach out when you're ready to buy a practice. You got this.